Good morning, Dr. Warren, Lisa, and Tata. I just wanted to tell you happy Thanksgiving and how grateful I am for each of you and how thankful I am that God made each of you just as you are and the individuals that God is growing you to keep becoming. You've been such a huge grace to my life, and I share your podcast with so many people. And yes, Dr. Warren, I would love for you to share some of your top 5 worship albums or songs in future podcasts. May you have time to be refreshed today and just enjoying being present with all the many blessings God has for you in this day. You all take care and know that you are loved and prayed for very often.
The sun comes up, it's a new day's dawn. It's time to sing your song again. Whatever may pass and whatever lies before me, let me be seen when the evening comes. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul. Worship Your holy name. And you're slow to anger. Your name is great and your heart is kind. For all your goodness I will keep on singing. 10,000 reasons for my heart to find. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul. I worship Your holy name. And on that day when my strength is fading, the end draws near and my time has come, Jesus, still my soul will sing Your praise unending. 10,000 years, then forevermore. It's gonna be forevermore. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy name. We sing like never before, oh my soul. I worship Your holy name. All of my days, I worship Your holy name. And then forever, God, I worship Your holy name. Your holy name.
Happy Thanksgiving, my friend. It is Thursday morning, 25 November 2021, and I want to send a shout out to listeners all over the world. I always say, hey, my friend, because I don't ever want you to think I'm talking to a large group of people. I'm just talking to you. Lisa and I and Tata are so grateful for each and every person who spends their time every day listening to the podcast, and we pray that it's beneficial to you. And I just want to send a shout out to the thousands of listeners in the United States, but also for the last 2 weeks, we've been in the top 25 in Croatia. We were don't personally know anyone in Croatia, but whoever's listening out there, know that we're praying for you and we love you. We got shout out to Canada, Germany, Australia, Ireland, New Zealand, United Kingdom, South Africa, Spain, Russia, India, Romania, Japan, Serbia, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Singapore, Italy, the Philippines, Iraq, Norway, Brazil, Montenegro, Denmark, the Netherlands, United Arab Emirates, Belgium, France, Austria, Switzerland, Ecuador, Ghana, Hong Kong, Jamaica, Poland, and Thailand. Those are all places where someone has listened to the podcast just in the last day or two. All over the world. There's another 300 or so IP addresses that we don't have the ability to track, so we know that there are people all over the world. Last month, there were over 80 countries that downloaded the podcast. So wherever you are and whatever you're going through today, know that Lisa, Tata, and I, Harvey and Lewis, love you, and we're grateful for you, and we're thankful for you. One of the things we're thankful for is this community of people all over the world who are bearing one another's burdens, especially on the prayer wall. The prayer wall, wleewarrenmd.com/prayer, has become an amazing community where people are lifting each other up, praying with and for each other, and often even praying for us, like Lola just said. Thank you, by the way. Lola kicked off this episode. Lola from Kentucky, great listener, just a fabulous supporter. We love you very much, Lola. Thank you for starting us off today. And then we had Matt Redmond, a song that's about giving thanks, 10,000 Reasons, one of my favorites. And here's another one of my favorite songs just for you on this Thanksgiving.
See to wander, Lord, I feel prone to leave the God. Here's my heart, take and seal it for the courts of love.
Hey, that was Shane and Shane with O Thou Fount of Every Blessing. Great song for Thanksgiving. And here's a spoiler alert. It's no longer Thanksgiving. It's Friday, the 26th of November, 2021. It's about 5:30 in the morning. Todd just went back to his room after being up for a while. The dogs got up at 3 this morning. So just kind of one of those days that's not getting off to the kind of start that we thought it would. Sort of the theme of this week, right? We've had a lot of unexpected challenges this week. It's yesterday, Thanksgiving, was a beautiful day. Pretty cold here in Nebraska, but Lisa spent a lot of the morning and the day before cooking and getting ready, and our plans changed a bit. We were going to be in San Antonio, and that didn't work out for reasons we'll discuss later. But basically, the dogs got up on the counter and ate 4 sticks of butter while she was cooking, and then they got up at 3 o'clock this morning, probably because of the butter. Just things kind of different. We had a moment yesterday, and I just want to share this with you because it's on my mind and on my heart this morning that Thanksgiving and Christmas and the holidays, they're not always easy for people. Sometimes holidays can bring a lot of sad feelings back, and grief and pain and difficulties. And holidays aren't always easy, especially if it's the first year since you lost someone, or the first year since you went through a divorce, or the first year since something big happened in your life. I had a moment yesterday when Lisa was cooking and took the turkey out of the oven, and it just smelled so perfect. And Thanksgiving has always been our favorite holiday. And as the kids were growing up, we always played a turkey bowl football game out in the field by our house in Auburn. And just Thanksgiving is just from a Christian perspective, really is probably one of our always favorite holidays, because you have a moment to acknowledge all the things you're grateful for. Well, we took the turkey out, and I turned around and I noticed the 2 drumsticks down in the pan, perfectly roasted and just beautiful. And it wrecked me for a moment. And it wrecked me because the drumsticks were always Josh and Mitch, our 2 sons, their favorite part of the turkey, and they would always eat them. We got these pictures of them eating the drumsticks, and when Mitch was a little boy holding that giant drumstick up, fighting over the wishbone and all those things. And it just took me back to all those times and this feeling of profound loss, right? Just kind of sweeps over you, and when you're not ready for it, it kind of comes back to you. We've talked about that before. And I was talking to Josh on FaceTime yesterday, and of course he had his first son, Riker, who was born about 9 months ago, and we were chatting, and Josh said, something happened this week that really kind of hit me. And I said, what happened? And he said, before he had a son, when he would hear about somebody being sick or somebody getting hurt, he would say, oh, that's terrible, I'm sorry that happened. But now that he has a son, Riker's been sick this week, and Riker's been struggling. He's had a fever and hasn't felt good. And Josh said, now that I have a son, I feel it in my bones. It hurts in my spirit when he's not okay, when he bumps his head or when he has a fever. It crushes me internally, and I feel it as if it's happening to me. And that's exactly right. It reminded me of Romans 12:15, where he says, Paul says, rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. The New Living Translation says, be happy with those who are happy and weep with those who weep. The idea is we're supposed to be able to empathize with other people when they're feeling things. Now, I've said it many times. I've even written about it. I'm writing about it in my new book. Feelings aren't facts, okay? Just because you feel something, that's a neurochemical event, but it doesn't mean it's really happening to you. But that doesn't mean, when I say feelings aren't facts, I'm not trying to diminish the fact that you do feel those things. I felt grief yesterday. I felt pain as if I just lost Mitch right then, but I didn't. It happened 8 years ago. It's our 8th Thanksgiving without him.
But just because I feel it doesn't mean it's true, right? Doesn't mean it's happening afresh. But at the same time, when people are feeling things, we have a responsibility, a spiritual responsibility, to be there with them in those moments. Not to tell them that the feeling isn't valid, but to mourn with them, rejoice with them, weep with them, be happy with them, be there in those moments with people. And so in the spirit of yesterday being Thanksgiving and this being a holiday season, I was thinking about you. If you're out there and you're hurting, my friend Hank Young lost his wife a year ago. There's a lot of people who Thanksgiving is hard and it's not easy. And it sometimes can be hard to find something to feel thankful for. We have a guy on our prayer wall that writes in all the time, Daniel Cahill. He's homeless in New York City, 70 years old, and he's struggling. He can't find a place to live. And it's hard sometimes. We make all these statements about, be thankful, be positive. And sometimes it's hard to find something to be thankful for. There's a woman named Jennifer Greenberg, who's a writer. Read her book, wrote a really great book, I think 2019. It came out called Not Forsaken, about her story of being abused by her father as she grew up, who was a Christian and was a pastor. And I don't know if he was a pastor, but he was certainly a leader in their church. And basically her story of overcoming that and still finding her faith. And she wrote an article this week that came out on October 28th on Crosswalk, which is a website that we read, a newsletter that we get in the email. And I saw this article and realized it was her, and I'd read her book before. And Jennifer Greenberg wrote an article called 3 Steps Toward Feeling Thankful on Thanksgiving When You're Sad. And I won't go through the whole thing, but I'll put the link in the show notes. But basically she said, remember that it's okay to mourn. It's okay to acknowledge that you're feeling something on a holiday. There's so many memories that come up, like when we have Thanksgiving and there's football on TV. Inevitably, I'm going to think about all those games we played on Thanksgiving Day with the kids and all the times that we spent out there with them. And it's okay to mourn. It's okay to grieve. Even if it's not happening now, it's still okay to feel that. And the number 2 thing that she said is create new traditions. If you have a history of having abuse or trouble in your family or loss or something like that, and the event of the holiday is triggering for you, then maybe your family needs to make some new traditions. Maybe she talked about how one year they ordered tamales instead of making a traditional meal, and it just was to help them kind of shake out of a routine that they had. And now they've got some new routines. And so now you have a new thing to remember and look forward to instead of the one that brings up all that old pain. And so maybe sometimes you need to shake things up a little bit. And the third one is sometimes you need to just be thankful that you went through something hard, because it can remind you that, yes, you went through it, but God got you through it. And yes, you had a hard time, but it taught you how to be resilient. Or yes, you went through a difficult thing, but it made you stronger. And she wrote something that I thought was really beautiful. She said, if I hadn't had a dad who was dysfunctional and who manipulated and harassed and berated me, I might not have been so protective of my own daughters. I might not be so careful about how they're treated. I might not be so conscious of all the ways my attitudes, behaviors, and words would color their perception of themselves. I might not be able to work alongside my husband to guide our family in ways that avoid those unhealthy pitfalls I know so well. And then she says this, it's really important, friend, to hear this. She says, I'm not saying abuse benefited me. I'm saying that surviving by the grace of God did benefit me. Like a desert flower that's endured droughts, floods, blazing days, and freezing nights, survivors are strengthened by experience. We remain strong when circumstances grow difficult. We can identify unhealthy behavior because we've seen those behaviors taken to extremes. We can cope with hardship because we've coped with hardship. We endure and overcome because we've done it all before. We're tough as nails because we've been through the furnace. That's what Isaiah was talking about, by the way, friend. This is Lee again. That's what Isaiah was talking about when he says that he refined you in the furnace of suffering. It's not good that you suffered, but you can come out of it by the grace of God in a refined way that makes you stronger and more resilient. So I'm just bending, making a nod right now to weep with you if you're weeping today. If it's a hard day for you, if it's a hard season for you, we're with you. Lisa and I and Tata, we're weeping with you. We're rejoicing with you. I'm just saying there's some ways to process that. It doesn't have to be so painful. Well, it might be so painful, but it doesn't have to be the end of the story. because there's ways to cope with it and deal with it. I'm going to leave you. Tommy Walker released a video this week. I know I play a lot of Tommy Walker songs, but he's just like, he's the guy for me, songwriting-wise, in terms of helping me worship and focus my thoughts, and I love the way he plays and all that. Tommy did a song back in 2016 called What Else? It's about what else could you do but be grateful when God has been so good to us. And I just want to leave you with that. What else from Tommy Walker? Listen, friend, Thanksgiving didn't turn out like I thought it would. It was a beautiful meal and a great day, but lots of crazy things happened this week, and I intended to have this special episode with lots of listeners involved and all that, and it just didn't pan out that way, so we'll get it next year. But not everything pans out the way you think. Your life doesn't either, right? There's hard things. Jesus said, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I've overcome the world. But he also said in John 10:10, I came here that you might have life and have it abundantly and have it to the full. Friend, it's Thanksgiving. I hope you didn't eat too much, but I hope you had the opportunity to. And if you're alone or if things are hard, we're with you. We're weeping with you. If you're rejoicing today, we're rejoicing with you. Friend, you can always find a way to be grateful. Colossians 3:17 says, whatever you do, in word or deed, do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. So even if it's hard right now for you, give thanks that you know he's going to get you through it because he's done it before. Give thanks that you know he's going to refine you through the process. And if you're tired of being refined, if you're just so tired of it feeling like it's never going to get up, then just give thanks to him, knowing that the dawn will come. As Arthur said a couple of weeks ago, if you find yourself in the dark, you just got to wait for the light because it's coming. You don't have to make it come. It will come. All you have to do, my friend, is start today. Here's Tommy Walker. Happy Thanksgiving. We're with you. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Gave his love, gave his life, brought heaven's touch, paid heaven's price, despised for us, left alone, took my sin, what grace he's shown, what he's given me, richest king could not repay with anything. Holy sacrifice overwhelms my heart with thanks and gratefulness. What else can I say? What else can I give to express my thanks to him? What else can I do? What else can I bring but give this song I sing? What else can I give but my thanks to him? Oh, Gave his love, gave his life, brought heaven's touch, paid heaven's price, despised for us, left alone, took my sin, grace he's shown, the shame that he's erased, brought me hope anew this day and every day, years that he's replaced, no one else can take away. So this paraphrase I pray. What else can I say? What else can I give to express my faith? ahead.